The Cannabis Conversation. A European perspective on the emerging legal cannabis industry.
Welcome to the Cannabis Conversation with Anush Desai, where we explore the new legal cannabis industry by speaking to the people who are helping to shape it. On today's show, I've got Meg Mathews, who is synonymous with the Britpop scene from the 1990s, but Meg is also a former music industry PR, events planner, and designer turned entrepreneur and advocate for the menopause. Meg also writes and regularly features on TV speaking about menopause and has a line of CBD products, hence why she's on the show today. She's very kindly hosting and has a lovely dog who may also feature on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Meg, for having us.
Thank you for coming to my house.
No, pleasure.
And thank you for having me on your podcast. And this is Ziggs, just so if you hear a dog, everyone, that's the reason why.
Cool. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be great to hear a bit about what you're up to and how you got into the CBD kind of side of things.
So me getting into the CBD world was maybe a year ago or so. A girlfriend of mine from New York came to stay, my best friend, and at night she was like, taking a couple of drops of stuff in this water, and I was like, oh, what are you taking? I want some of this. And she was here for like 2 weeks, and I started to take the CBD, and basically I was like, wow, I've got no aches and pains after about 3 weeks. I was sleeping really well. Things started to change that I was like quite amazed that this tiny few drops of something was actually changing all these ailments that I was having through the menopause. So basically what happened was she gave me the brand that she was taking, and then I went to look for it in the UK, and I went on this CBD line or whatever UK, went on this website, and they'd sold out. And so the guy sent me and I said, do you want this other one? I said, yes, I'll have this other make. He said, just as good, but it's not as branded. This is a very well-known one. This is not, So he put it in the post, and then he called me to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've sent you the wrong one. So by fate, we started talking, and then I just said, look, I really, really believe in CBD for women and the menopause symptoms. I love it so much that I want to bring my own range out, because I know that women with the migraines, with the anxiety, with the aches and pains, not sleeping, it just ticked every box. So that's how it happened.
Oh,
and then, so from an accidental phone call, I was able to bring my own products out.
Brilliant. We'll go on to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a minute. Maybe we'll start at the top, and forgive this very male ignorant question, but maybe we start at the top and just sort of briefly tell us what exactly menopause is.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not saying you're ignorant, because I was like 46, 47. I'd never even heard the word perimenopausal. So for me, I was like, what? Perimenopausal? Are you mad? Never heard of that word. Never heard of the word postmenopausal. I'd heard of the word menopause. I had no idea there was 34 symptoms. And the reason that I became an advocate and the reason that I decided to be a spokesperson is because I had it so badly. I didn't leave this house for 3 months. I had the worst anxiety. I never slept. I couldn't hardly walk. I thought that all my 90s Britpop days of partying hard had caught up with me. So I was too embarrassed to say to people, I've forgotten where I put things. My nervous system is shattered. So for me, it was completely all I thought was those days had caught up with me. Because my mum used to say to me, they'll catch up with you one day. Don't you worry, and all this partying. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever. It's Britpop. We don't care. We're just, invincible. Okay, of course, now I'm nothing like that at all anymore. But back in those, 20 years ago, that's what it was about. Yeah. So I thought it was all about that. So I didn't think, because to me, the menopause was just a hot flush and don't have a period. Number one, I had the Marina coil, so I wasn't having periods, so how would I know? And number two, I never got a hot flush.
Right.
I just had all these symptoms that were nowhere, anywhere written about that was going to be the start of my menopause. Yeah. So then I was just like, wow. And then the 30 million women in the UK today going through this, and probably 80% do not know they're going through the perimenopause.
Wow. Okay. So as I understand it, it's basically a woman's body is kind of...
You have
we
X
won't be able
amount of
to...
eggs. So we get so many eggs. We were born with all these eggs. And then we ovulate, and then once all your eggs are gone, you stop having a period.
Right, okay.
So basically, each month you ovulate and you let out so many eggs, and then once all your eggs have gone, then your body decides doesn't have a period anymore, and basically the blood stops flowing to your vulva, and 1 in 2 women will have osteoporosis because of the lack of estrogen. So your body stops making estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Without these, 1 in 3 women will have a stroke or a heart attack in the menopause, more than men. 1 or 2 women will have a collapsed pelvic floor, and 1 or 2 women will have osteoporosis.
It's a natural process in a female body, but it's accompanied with some pretty brutal kind of symptoms and side effects. And so how exactly has CBD helped with your particular symptoms? I mean, you talked about...
Well, it's helped with everything. So it's helped with my anxiety, it's helped with my sleep, it's helped with my headaches, it's helped with my aches and pains, inflammation of joints. I mean, basically it helps with nearly all the ailments that go with it. And, instead of having to, take antidepressants, instead of having to take ibuprofen all the time because of the headaches or the swelling of the joints and stuff like this, you're taking something of the, the full spectrum of the plant that's just been cold pressed and a few drops. I did start on a very low dosage, and of course, because it's mine, I can afford to take a very high dosage now, but it's not a cheap product, and I don't expect to be cheap. And people are always saying to me, oh, in Holland and Barrett theirs is £12. I'm like, yeah, but you're just taking a hemp sack. I hate to say this. It has to be a reasonable price because it shows that it comes from a reasonably good farm, and the oil is not a cheap product. And if it is that cheap, then you should be a bit worried about it, I'm afraid to say. I would say don't go for the cheapest because the quality will not be good.
Given where the industry is, it's still relatively small.
So it's going to be expensive.
It's going to be expensive because a lot of the processes, there's not economies of scale, I suppose. No. It's not big enough yet. But it's definitely growing and getting there.
I know that there is a lot of people, because the other day I looked at theirs and I was thinking, God, theirs is £35. And then I started thinking, oh my God. But of course this is going to happen. But I do know that my quality is a really good quality. And I've, spoken with my supplier a million times saying, well, this so-and-so says that they're buying X amount per kilo for their oil and you're paying X amount for your oil. Why can't we do X of that oil? And they're like, well, because Meg, I promise you, we test it 3 times when it comes in. We take it to 3 different testers and we could buy it for that, but then do you want your product to be this or this?
Yeah. And have you found that your friends have had similar kind of benefits from it?
Yeah, all I can just say is that all the people that buy it all come back.
Okay.
So
repeat customer is probably
repeat customer just goes to show that it does work, and because they are taking a chance, to buy it, because it is an expensive thing, and it's not $12.99, it's not £20. I mean, for the average person, it's a lot of money. And also the other thing is this thing of them taking it and thinking that it works straight away. It's not an instant relief. You're not smoking a spliff. There's nothing like that. There's no THC. There's nothing there's a mind altering in it. Your body will take in where it needs to go. You're not going to feel anything, So when people have a gummy bear and go, wow, I feel great. And I'm just thinking, if it's the placebo effect, love it. Just keep doing it. I have a few women that say, I don't have a glass of wine now, Meg. I just have gummy bears at night. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And they're happy and they've stopped drinking their wine at night and they're having a couple of gummy bears. And
that's cool.
They're, so basically meaning that they're not drinking as much. And if that is working for them, that's great.
Yeah.
But, the reality is we do know that it can take X amount per day to be. It's like taking your vitamins. That's what I have to say to people. take it like you're taking your vitamins. Your body will take in as much as it needs, and then some people 2 days, 3 days, some people 21 days.
Yeah.
You know, everyone is completely different. And also I say start at the low one. Start on your 10%, couple in the morning, couple at night. You will know. And then if you need to up it, or you've got more severe headaches or severe pains or whatever, then just move up to 20%. But, you know, start on the 10. Don't just go like me, as the addict I am. I'm like, give me 40, give me 40. And it was like, no, start off, just take 10, Meg. Then you'll know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, but I want the most. I want the most. It's like, well, Meg, you don't. Let's start. Everyone starts.
But you learned through the process, right?
Yeah,
of going high and then realizing
that I didn't really need that so much, and then I moved back down again.
Yeah.
So now I'm on 20, and that's fine for me.
Because they say there's a kind of bell curve to it, so it's not just the more you take, the more it works.
No, it's
beyond a certain level, and then it starts to work less.
Yeah, I heard.
Because
that's what I got told.
You've got too much there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You can't can't take loads and loads. The more you take, because I was thinking, let me take 40, but like you say, it didn't do. So then I went back to 20, and it was exactly the same as taking whatever the 40, because your body just doesn't work. It just takes as much as it needs. Yeah, and that's the end of it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you alluded to it there. There are lots of stuff on the market, and people like Holland & Barrett are huge, but possibly not as good a quality product. Given that there's kind of a lot of snake oil, how do you as a brand sort of cope with that?
Well, all I do is go that I'm the face of, and I represent my brand. So my brand is good, and I know that it's not the cheapest on the market, but I can vouch that it's great. And I think that's just the advantage that you're buying. If you're buying the M blend, you can come back to me and go, this is a load of crap or whatever. But mine is the full spectrum. I mean, we know that you can make stuff in the pollen and it's not as good quality, But how do I explain that to people, every day in the streets? I don't. So, I mean, and I just hope that because I go for the menopause, it's all about the menopause for me, but also you don't have to have the menopause. It just happened that I can actually say, because you're not allowed to say, are you? But because it's done all my ailments and it's worked all for me, I can say to the press and speak to TV and speak about everything because it's worked for me. And as we know, you're not allowed to say anything about CBD if you're...
No medical claims. But
I can say that it's worked for me. So that's why all my women are menopausal women. That come to me for it. Of course, that would be great if it was a larger market and I'm going out there, but I'm just saying what worked for me, which means that it's just women. It's 99% of my market.
And so obviously, you're quite a high profile activist, let's say, in bringing menopausal issues to the fore. Have you found people who don't have menopause are kind of coming to you and using CBD, or is it mainly...
No, mine is mainly just menopausal people that come to me. Yeah. I mean, I have friends. Of course, I have friends that have my blend that are male, and that because they come to me because they know that it's good, because they've got whatever they've got going on. But then, I'm not saying who they are, what they are. But I do have friends that buy the stuff off me that are men and whatever because they know that it's good. Yeah, or they see it because it's in sale in Hampstead, or it's in sale in certain shops. I think in CBD London, and it's up in another shop in Hampstead. Yeah, and I've been approached by Selfridges. When these sort of people start, approaching you, then it's good for all of us, really. So Selfridges come and ask me for my stuff.
Right. Brilliant.
But they also want to charge you a fortune to be on their shelf, which I'm a bit like, no, I'm not paying. My product is good. If you want my product, you can have it. I'm not paying the fee that you want to. Got all excited, and then they say, but we'll have yours. Of course we'll have it, but there is a fee of XXX. So I'm a bit like, no, it's all right. I'll just keep selling it online because the markup of it at the moment for me is not high enough to the price point to be in there.
Well, it's interesting, but I mean, look, it's a signal for everyone that someone like Selfridges is just looking at stocking. We'll talk about it in a second, actually. But you think about everything related to cannabis has just been full of stigma for so long that where we are now is quite impressive. Generally, you've got people like Selfridges. So
listen to this. I mean, I did a CBD in my local village hall, Primrose Hill Community Centre. We had a CBD night. At the end of it, there was someone from Estee Lauder there.
Wow.
Came up to speak after, and someone from Unilever. These people were both because I was thinking, what are they doing? It was like a £5 ticket sale. Then afterwards they said, can we come and speak to you? And this woman said, oh, I'm from Estee Lauder. I've been put out there to go and find a beauty product for with CBD. And then this guy, the Unilever, which we know is one of the hugest ones. We're out there to source CBD products.
Great.
So, and this was about this was probably about 9 months ago. I never heard anything back from them because mine wasn't beauty. I mean, I had a skin cream and I've got a muscle spray, but I think they were more looking for more skin stuff. But I mean, being on Eventbrite, and we're just ended up on a Saturday evening at 7:00.
Yeah.
There to listen to the panel.
And how have you found the skincare side of things?
So mine, I have a spray for hot legs. So mine's for legs, like, because you get quite heavy legs and you feel quite heavy at night. So I have a bergamot lavender spray, which is great for that hot legs in night. And then also I have a lavender cream, which I just put out. It's a tiny part. I just use it really when I just put it all around my neck and my shoulders. For me, it's just more of a muscle thing. So I've not got into any of the beauty stuff like the face and stuff. I mean, I love Grace's, you know her so
yes, Shona,
I love her stuff. I think she's in Selfridges. She's like doing really well. She was one of the girls on the panel. And there's another
Jasmine,
yes, both of their products, skin products, I think are amazing.
Yeah,
so I think both of theirs really good quality. I plug them all the time. Those two, I think they're great. So I leave them to do the skin stuff because they've been doing that for years. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
No, I hosted a panel with both of those.
Yeah, they're amazing, aren't they? Those two.
Really good. Great examples of young female entrepreneurs as well. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, look, I mean, it's great. People like yourself, and I interviewed a couple of rugby players who've also set up their own CBD brand. And it's great that people with a higher public profile like yourselves are getting involved. Have you had any stigma to overcome at all?
No, nothing.
Throughout the whole process?
No one's ever questioned it. No
Brilliant.
one's ever, no. I think it's a really, I'm amazed by how many people actually take it now. I mean, every time I'm always saying, do you want to see the other? Oh, I already got my own. I'm like, oh, okay. I am amazed that most people I speak to have already taken it. You know, they were already getting it from LA many years ago. I mean, a lot of my friends were already on CBD. Yeah, I was miles behind. I was like, I've been doing that for 4 years, Meg. I was like, really? Yeah. I won't ask you how you got it in the country or where you did it in the country. But I think I was quite surprised how many people, even like all the local shops down there that have been there for years, they've got CBD tea and CBD coffee, and CBD chocolate. I mean, it's cakes and all these little tiny little cafes that aren't even trendy. They're still doing everything.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I just think I just want people to just know how good it is and how it just so helps body that you can't believe that because we're such a pill-popping world, society, that we just don't understand this tiny bit of oil, which is such small, is going to cure this. Do you know what I mean? Because we're so used to taking a pill. We're so used to taking antibiotics. We're so used to the doctor saying, take a pill for this, take a pill of that. So it's like me, when I take my HRT, I take a gel and I rub it on my inner thigh. Okay? I rub that on my inner thigh. I rub testosterone on my inner thigh. Everyone thinks HRT is a tablet. You know what I mean? But this is going straight in the bloodstream. This is going in the bloodstream. So, and it's from the NHS. It's what most of the NHS would say to take, and it's a gel and it goes straight into your bloodstream. It doesn't go through your liver, so there's less clotting. So, but still, even me getting my head round as I'm rubbing this on my leg, I'm going, really? This is really curing me? And it is. Right. So, but I'm still thinking, should I be popping a pill? Should I be popping a pill?
Yeah.
So that's a society for us.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've been brought up on that, right? And it also, it's worse in America from what I understand. Yeah. They literally have a pill for everything.
Everything.
So maybe some of the more kind of natural plant alternatives are becoming more popular.
Yeah, definitely. Well, because my HRT is made from yams. It's called Body Identicals. It's not Bioidenticals. So it's probably medically the best HRT I think out there.
So I guess it kind of, my usual final question is, what did your family say when you were getting into the cannabis business? But it sounds like you haven't had much stress at all in terms of
no, I had no stigma. I just got praised by everybody. because, it was like, wow, Meg, you're, the forefront, you're doing this, it's great. Yeah, everybody was like, yeah, I mean, I gave it to my dad. He said it did. No, I don't think it works, but, whatever. I said, you didn't stick to it. I'm sure you didn't take it properly, Dad. And then he was a bit like, I don't know. He said, but it hasn't killed my back. I was like, well, no, you've got generated disc, Dad. There is a certain amount that you need to take, much more than 10% for you. You need to be on the higher dose, but I'm not risking giving you whatever 50% because it will get left in the cupboard and it will be about £500 bottle of CBD oil. So I'm saying to him, unless you actually promise to take it religiously, I'm not giving you it because it's a lot of money it's worth. Do you know what I mean? And he won't religiously take it, so I'm a bit still like, you can stay with your 10% for a while. But no, everybody...
Good on him for taking a little bit at least.
No, yeah, of course, but... No, everybody was like, I think everybody nobody thought, that, oh my God, it's TH. I don't know where, I just think I'm quite lucky that everybody is quite up on things, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, everyone's a bit like, wow, is it, I'm like, not going to get high. I'm sure that a lot of people are ignorant to it, but I just think because I've been able to talk about it and do lots of interviews about it, I think before the stigma got crossed over, I was already out there talking about it and explaining that, there wasn't, any THC in it and you're not getting high of it.
Great. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a positive story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what? Because I ask everyone the question, and everyone's family's generally quite chilled with it. So I was expecting to be some kind of horror stories where people are like, no, I got thrown out of house and all of this sort of stuff. But no, I think everyone is pretty relaxed about it, and it's only going to get easier and as it becomes more widespread.
So we think, I mean, I'm always getting these scares that people are saying, oh, the law's going to change and they're going to stop it. And, is this true?
The novel foods regulations, yeah.
Yes, I keep getting these sort of people asking me this question, which I don't know, so I'm going to ask you.
Well,
because I'd like to know.
I'd like to know too. I think a lot of people would. It's still ongoing, and there's a organisation called the Centre for Medicinal Cannabis, which is working around trying to get people regulated. So that it's kind of self-regulation a bit to show that if you're a responsible CBD seller, you adhere to a certain number of standards. Okay. And a lot of those things are in line. It's probably a good thing for most responsible sellers because it will weed out all the snake oil.
Snake oil, as you call it. I like that.
Snake oil salesman.
Snake oil. Is there some shit like you just say from Thailand or just stuff coming through?
It's not even that. The CMC did a report and it found it did a sample on 20, 30 bottles. Yeah. And very few of them actually had what they said they had in it. So some had more THC than they should have. Some had no CBD in it. Some had it in high alcohol content, which would classify as a spirit.
There was.
Maybe not a spirit, but an alcoholic drink at least. So look, there's lots of
I know because some of them mine would taste quite strong, and then others I've had which were with a lot of sunflower and coconut oil, and I'm like, a lot of I'm like, why am I got sunflower? I don't want vegetable oil. Do you know what I mean? I'm anti-vegetable oil, but but then of course it's smoother and it tastes not as strong, and you're like, oh, that goes down quite easy, and then you read what's on the side, and it's like, I don't want sunflower. What am I taking that for?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't do coconut oil or anything in case, because then I just thought maybe that would make my mark if they're allergic to coconut oil or whatever.
You got to think.
So I've got to think.
Got to think about this, but cool. Well, thank you, Meg. That's really helpful, and actually just reminded me I need to get someone on to talk about the novel foods regulations. So we can all find out. So I'll let you know when that's coming
just because I just keep getting asked it all the time, and I have no idea. I'm like, I don't know. I'll just wait for them to knock on me and say, sorry, you can't sell anymore. People are going to me, I hear this is happening, and what's happening with the government? People are always asking me, and I'm like, I don't know that bit.
Yeah. Well, we can help you out.
Okay,
cool.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you very much, Meg.
Thank you for coming to my house.
Cool. And thank you for hosting.
All right, lovely to meet you.
Cheers. Thanks for joining me for that. I hope you enjoyed the show. Meg is obviously a bit of a public figure, clearly doing some really great work publicising the symptoms around menopause. And it's a really good sign for the industry general where more mainstream people are entering the CBD world and hopefully making it more accessible for people. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for me since Product Earth. I'm meeting tons of new people, and I have to say it's the best thing about this new industry that I've got into. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I will be hosting an event by Greenlight on the 26th of September at the Curtain Club in London. There'll be info on my various social links if you're interested in coming along. It's a bit of an investment focus on cannabis with various people that know lots about those topics. As always, if you're enjoying the show, please subscribe and share. If you can write me a review, I'd be forever indebted to you. Good karma coming your way. Next week, I've got a really, really big episode. I'm interviewing Professor Dedi Mary from the Technion University in Tel Aviv, and he is the world's leading authority on cannabis as a treatment for cancer. So that is a real honor for me and will be a really interesting episode. So till then, have a good week.